what a rainstorm. Oh my.
That's my thunder and lightning and rain. Hello, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by with Beth, coming at you to do yet another audio review of Friday the 13th series, this time season 1, episode 14. What's the title?
Bedazzled.
And I think it left Beth the opposite, but she can share her thoughts on that, I guess, herself. But this episode revolves around, it starts with this, on this ship out in, there's actually some diving shots. I don't know if they actually shot them themselves or if there's stock footage diving shots, but these people out on the ocean in this boat, and was it rain? I can't remember if it was raining. It doesn't matter. At night on the boat,
No, it wasn't raining yet.
find this treasure with this, and when the guy brings the treasure chest up, this guy's kind of lighting the way for the diver with this kind of, I would assume it's kind of an old
Lantern.
kind of ocean, what's it called, kind of lantern. And before long, Beth's like, oh, maybe the lantern's the thing. And sure enough, the lantern, this, I guess, you use this lantern, I guess it'll help you find treasure.
Yeah, it shines a light around, and I guess it glimmers a certain way, so there's sunken treasure or whatever.
We don't see
valuable.
that happen, but we're just assuming.
No, the guy says, I didn't see anything until you shone the light on it, and then there it was.
I see.
The prettiest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah, I can't remember if you made a prediction for this episode, but I think I said like a beauty pageant crown or something.
I was thinking jewelry, and we were both wrong.
We were both wrong. Although there's probably jewelry, there might be a crown in the treasure, so we're both right.
Okay.
But so then it's kind of funny because right after they find the treasure, like Ryan and Marshak are just there, like freaking.
We gotta get the lantern.
You gotta get the lantern from them. So there's this action scene with undoubtedly a bunch of body doubles. Seems like they're constantly falling over, kicking each other down, falling off stairs. A little bit of a Friday the 13th series action scene with just kind of like football over a lantern instead of football.
Yeah, but before Jack and Ryan get in there, we see them open up the treasure chest, and then we find out what the lantern does.
Oh, you mean when he double crosses the other guy? Well, you want to say what happens?
Well, every time the treasure is found with this lantern, the sacrifice is one of the divers who was on the team that found it. So he shines a light at like his heart cavity, and he burns.
He burns. It's a pretty decent burn, as you guys may or may not know. I've said it before. I'm not a big fan of burn stunts, but this one was kind of fun. You could tell there was some kind of a fake, face on him, and the flames and stuff, so obviously it wouldn't burn his real face. But yeah, kind of interesting burn stunt for a TV show. The guy gets burned to hell and stuff, and that's, I guess, before Marshak and Jack, start doing football game over, possessing
fumbling over the lantern.
Yep. Lanterns, so then they get it back
to the vault, and they got to go to this convention.
Oh, the main bad guy that just killed his partner, as they drive away in the old Mercedes, he looks at their license plate.
Yeah, finds their address through the license plate. Movie magic, or it's in the script. So they call the shop after they see the two people leave for this convention in a thunderstorm, just a really horrible storm.
Ryan and Marshak leave for this, I can't even remember what kind of convention it is.
Psychic convention?
I don't even remember. It could have been. But
Astrology Convention.
Oh yeah, it might be astrology, yep. And Mickey decides to just stay back and babysit this little...
No, she doesn't do the babysitting till after they leave. But anyway, they go to the convention, and Mickey's all by herself, and the pirate people call her from what's it called? A phone booth? Yeah, it's from the 80s, so I think those were still there. And they
think it was called a payday phone.
A payday phone?
Payday phone, yeah. You pay to use it. The payday phone, I think.
Oh, yeah. So they call the antique store, and they're pissed that, someone's still in there. Oh, what do we do? Plan's still the same. Then this poor, telephone repair person is going around town fixing power lines
During the storm.
during the storm.
Rainstorm.
He turns out to be the second kill, because then the pirates put on the phone costume where the repairman check your line was working, then it wasn't. They get downstairs. One of them had known about the vault, they just didn't know where it was.
Did we say that they put the lantern in the vault?
They put the lantern in the vault before they went to the convention. So now Mickey's there alone, and these guys get in with.
Alone? She's babysitting.
She's not babysitting yet. The guys get in, and then the kid comes after the telephone people are there. The telephone people come in. She leads them downstairs. She'd agreed to the babysitting before they called. Anyway, watch the episode to get that part correct. It's kind of a minor sub-story. Anyway, the kid overhears the telephone people downstairs trying to get inside the vault. Kid gets trapped.
The guy's posing as telephone people
Yeah.
after killing the actual telephone person.
Kid gets tied up.
They talked their way into the curious goods store posing as telephone people to get down to the vault.
Mickey go downstairs because she hears this little kid that she's babysitting cry out for help. Mickey gets in trouble herself. Ends up opening up the vault after the policeman makes the third kill. I'm not going to go into details.
So the gist of the story is just these guys, two bad guys posing as the phone people trying to break into curious goods on a stormy night and find the lantern and get it back. And Mickey's attempts at trying to keep them away from it, and along with this little kid she's babysitting at the same time.
Mickey does have a good idea towards the end, though.
Oh, like electrocuted and tying.
Yeah, she pulls like the power cord out of a lamp and does the negative positive on this brass lantern, and the kid plugs it in, and the pirate sees the lantern and he gets a really big jolt out of picking it up. So that was kind of clever. And then they think he died from this electric shock, and he really doesn't. And just a lot of filler, kind of underwhelming to me.
Arguably, it's a lot of filler, but I didn't have a problem with it because I found the atmosphere of the episode with the thunder and lightning and rain to be really cool. And the lighting, in my opinion, was really kind of cool and creepy and Curious Goods. And honestly, I thought it was cool to have like a whole episode in Curious Goods store, because I think it's a really, kind of a photogenic, store in the series. So I didn't have a problem with it. I can see why someone could say it is, it is kind of long and drawn out, but.
Well, in one of the fight scenes, the lantern gets broken.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then all of a sudden it's fixed.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be paying that close attention. This is like 87 or 88 people are supposed to be watching on 13-inch TVs, but yeah, there's a stunt where the lantern prop goes falling and like breaks in half, and I said, watch the next shot. It'll be fully, intact, and sure enough. But the bad guy ends up trying to kill Mickey at the end by, zapping her with the lantern. But she's got a mirror that she held up and reflected the killer ray right back into his face, and a really pretty grisly, burned face effect.
Can you hear the smile on his face?
For broadcast TV. And they just show, it kind of kills him, and his head just goes on fire, and they just show this, his face, meaty, nasty face, just
Kinda
burning on
bubbling.
the ground. And I asked Beth, "Who's hungry?" Charred, broiled face.
I'm
And then
kinda
it actually made, I don't know if that made her hungry, if she was hungry before, but either way, she's hungry. So, yeah. So that's Bedazzled.
I guess I'm a little desensitized by the horror. I've seen it all before.
She's seen all the horror before.
I'm more into the backstories of these, and this one really didn't have a backstory other than kind of hide and go seek with this brass lantern, and I don't know. And for Ryan to be this main character of the story, he's barely even in the episodes.
Yeah, John D. LeMay is first billing it, the star of the series, and it's like he's never, well, not never, but he seems to be rarely a very big part of the series, which is interesting.
Like, this whole series was all about Mickey protecting this lantern. And then they get back from a convention and they're like, oh, what happened? She's like, oh, nothing. And then the mom from the kid that was being babysat says, you shouldn't tell him so many stories. Oh, I didn't tell him any stories. And then the mom ends up retelling the entire night within 10 seconds. And, because at first Ryan and Jack were like, oh, okay, it was a quiet night. And they're like, oh, they're bitching that
they got
car
broke down.
Car broke down. Convention was
empty.
Half the people didn't show up because of the storm, and they're all bitching and moaning about this convention that was a waste of time. And Mickey's like, oh yeah, it was just a quiet night here. And then here comes the mother of the child that Mickey was babysitting and tells the entire story of people coming in, pirates taking over a lantern, opening, and burning to death. And you really shouldn't tell such ghastly stories to such a little kid. And so Mickey looks at Jack and Ryan, who are like, nothing. And she just walks up and says, what? Kids.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it.
Yay. So I'll go, it for me it's like, not the best but not the worst. So I'm going to do my thumb that's pointing kind of up but not all the way up. Would be like a 3/4 thumb, I guess. 3/4 thumb for me on Bedazzled. And Beth?
Kind of underwhelming, a lot of filler. I'm going to go halfway
So her thumb is thickened sideways, so
yeah,
half thumb.
Half thumb. Just, halfway mark.
A halfway mark, like sticking halfway.
It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't, I don't know, I guess.
Like,
it didn't catch my attention.
It didn't bedazzle you.
It didn't bedazzle me.
Out of curiosity, like if I were to ask you right now, which is your least favorite that you can remember of the show series so far? Like, could you answer it?
I'd have to look at the titles real quick.
Okay.
Kind of between.
Probably Faith Healer.
Faith Healer, yeah, that was. And Scarecrow. Bedazzled kind of ranks right there with Scarecrow. Kind of predictable. Wasn't horrible, but wasn't great. Faith Healer, I thought that was kind of cool how the glove kind of did its thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Like, you'd have to touch someone else if you didn't want to get the disease or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of cool, but I don't know. These last few since, Shadow Boxer haven't really been.
No, Tales of the Undead. That was the comic book one. That was the last one that wowed us.
That was a good one. But we're done with this disc 3. On to disc 4 to Vanity's Mirror. So that one should be interesting. It's definitely going to be a mirror.
I'm assuming it's going to be a mirror.
A little bit of Sleeping Beauty in here. But yeah. Thanks for listening to us babble about
Bedazzled.
Babble about Bedazzled. Hope you've been enjoying these reviews.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Till next time, kids.
Thanks.